the road, baby. Yeah, what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about AFA, the Argentine Futbol Association. We're talking about them and how corrupt, absolutely corrupt they are. So we're going to get into it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. I'm going to talk to you about what's going on in the Argentine League right now. Let's see, where do we start? I wrote down notes. I got notes, okay? Because it's such a shit show that I'm like, okay, I gotta go through this piece by piece, okay? Goddamn AFA. Goddamn AFA. AFA! Here, how the hell did we get to this level of corruption and forgery and just silliness, you know? None of it which led to them being champions. I mean, it did, but inadvertently. It wasn't on purpose. So let's start from the top, okay? I'm talking before 2018, I think, 2017. Up until then, the president of AFA was a guy named Julio Grondona. Bing, that guy. And, he was just as corrupt as all the FIFA guys are. They're all in cahoots. In fact, I made a video before where I mentioned João Avalanche, who was the head of FIFA for a while, and he really developed all of the corruption practices that they use, and his main buddy was Grondona. Anyways, Grondona was the head of AFA. And they did their corruption, I think that they had a little more sense of shame, because they ran their games of corruption in a certain way, and it wasn't so brutish and out in the open. It was a little more, I don't know, I don't want to say classy, but a little more inconspicuous. So anyways, Grondona dies. He goes and he dies. And AFA is on fire. Nobody knows who the president's going to be. Everybody's fighting for to be the head of AFA. FIFA sent down some emissary to help, create a shift of power. And anyways, who comes out on top? This slug, Tapia. I don't even know his first name. Don't care to learn it. He's a slug. Okay? And he came into power, and what did he do to come into power? He basically, the playbook is basically, I let your team play, so you vote for me. Your team that's not good enough to make it into first division, you play, and now, but you vote for me to be president forever. Forever, and I make sure that you stay in first division. So he expanded the league to 30 teams instead of 20, which is the correct amount of teams to have. It's what every European league has, 20 teams. If you're not in the top 20, you're in second division. That's how it works. There's relegation, promotion. This is how this game works. I mean, over so many years, they figured out this is the best format. It's the format. And Argentina had a 20-league team for the longest time, and then Tapia needed to get his power, and he made it 30 teams, and he also made it zonal, which makes no sense, because if you know anything about Argentine soccer, like, of those 20 teams, 15 of them are in one city. They're all from Buenos Aires. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know if it's 15. Don't fact check me, but basically most of the top teams, Boca and River, are driving distance away from each other. It's not like here in the U.S. where you have, a team in this state, a team in that state, a team in this state. It developed, via capitalism. So clearly the state and the city with the most power has the most teams. So the way it was that mostly it was Buenos Aires teams. But Chiquitapia, I don't think he's from Buenos Aires. I don't know where the hell he's from. Forget that. That doesn't matter. But he came in basically by expanding the league and creating 2 zones, which makes no sense, again, because what would the 2 zones be? Buenos Aires versus the rest of the country? So I don't know how the zones work. It makes no sense to me. But he created 2 zones of 15 teams, right? So basically 10 teams got to come into first division. 10 teams that I never heard of them, Look, I'm not that level of connoisseur that I know all of the second division teams, So these 10 teams got to get into first division. And clearly he used that to come into power. When he was in power, was one of the worst times for Argentina. I mean, we had made it to finals with different coaches, all decent coaches, made it to finals, lost finals. We lose 2014 final with a homegrown Argentine coach, playing a defensive style, whatever. But it's my daughter, and she wants to come get into this video. Okay, so my daughter ran in, and I don't know where I left off. I think I left off on that Chiquitapia had made the league 30 teams, and then divided into 2 zones. And it was a time where nobody wanted to be Argentina's coach. So, and this is clearly shown by the list of coaches that they went through that were, the common Argentine person thinks, okay, who should be the next coach? And when they finally get to the last coach, which is what everybody wanted, was Diego Simeone. And Simeone says no. Because Simeone is a decent person. He's well aware of the goddamn problems he's looking for if he goes to coach for them. So Simeone said no, and he had no choice. So he put Scaloni. He puts him in as an interim coach, meaning you're going to coach because we need a coach for, at the time it was Copa America. Coach Copa America, and then we're going to find a more appropriate coach because Scaloni hadn't coached anything big yet, and you're the coach of Argentina's national team. You better have played Champions League. You better have coached in Europe. You need to have a track record. You need to have won Copa Libertadores, whatever it is. Chiquitapia, when he put Scaloni in charge, he had no other option. He was doing that out of desperation. He wasn't doing that because he's some grand master, 3D chess player, okay? He's doing it because he had nobody. That's who he had, was Lionel Scaloni. Argentina could ever have, okay? But it fell in his lap. Well, a couple days ago, out of the blue, Angel Di Maria, World Cup winner Angel Di Maria, who I can't tell you how much I love him. Like, I'd have a picture of him back there. Maybe it should be the next picture. If anybody gets mentioned, I know Messi is the number 1 mention for the 2022 World Cup, but that Di Maria chipped it over the goalie against France. He scored. He was a critical piece, and he... And the way he did it was by saying that Chiquitapia, he painted Chiquitapia as a 3D chess player who who picked Scaloni, and that if it wasn't for Chiquitapia to pick Scaloni, that yeah, that's true, but Chiquitapia did it because he had no options. You know what I mean? He didn't do it out of he did it because he had no options. So he does that interview. The next day, in the newspaper, you see a picture of Angel Di Maria with Chiquitapia in an office being given a trophy as the winner of the league, of the Argentine league. So let's start all of that. So, Di Maria does that interview, and the next thing you know, the next day in the newspaper is a picture. Well, let's recap real quick. Di Maria does that interview, basically sucking Chiquitapia's dick. And to quickly recap, we've got this new league that's got 15 teams and 2 zones. Well, where are we in the league? We are right at the time of the playoffs between the 2 zones, because that's how it works. Right? Like football, like American sports. Anyways, we're right at the end of the regular season, and they're supposed to go into playoffs, right? Well, the day after that interview with Di Maria, there in the newspaper is Chiquitapia shaking Di Maria's hand and the coach of the team he's on, Rosario Central, and saying that he's the winner of the league, that year's league. So a tournament that we didn't know we were playing for, a trophy that we didn't know we were playing for, and all of a sudden he's receiving a trophy in an office, and the other picture is him celebrating. Di Maria and this coach and I don't know, somebody on the staff from Rosario Central, him celebrating in the back of a van. Like that. In the back of a van. They look like they're hostage victims. They look like they've been kidnapped. You know what I mean? It's so strange. So they get named winner of the league, which he basically invented that there was a trophy to be had for who did the best in the league season, which nobody knew that. You know what I mean? And he decided to give them that trophy. Well, what happens next? They have to play in playoffs. So Rosario Central, they get given the winner of the league trophy, but there's still playoffs to be done. And the playoffs happen this weekend, this past weekend. Right now it's November 26, 25? The previous weekend, they play the playoffs, and this is just where it's poetic justice. Rosario Central gets set to play their first playoff game against Estudiantes. And why is it poetic justice? Because when the trophy was given to Rosario Central, Estudiantes is the only team that makes any type of complaint or anything. And it happened via tweet. So when they asked Chiquitapia, how did you come up with this trophy? He said, we voted. He's like, all the heads of all the teams in AFA voted, and we decided that we were going to give this trophy for the... Which, what would have happened if there was a tie in the points? Like, if the other guy in the other zone had as many points. I mean, Rosario Central had the most points. They ended the league with the most points, but there was no trophy up for grabs for that. That wasn't originally in the rules. So here comes the poetic justice, which they have to play against Estudiantes, and Estudiantes is the only team that says anything against this whole thing. And what do they say? Basically, since Tapia said that they voted on it, Estudiantes and Verón, who's the president of Estudiantes, they make a statement that says we never voted. Yeah, so Verón's the only one that goes against the whole thing, and they have to play each other. And so they go to play each other, and Estudiantes, this is all a little murky to me, but this is important. It seems like there might have been a rule that to the champ, you have to do a guard of honor. If you don't know what a guard of honor is, you Americanos, if you don't know what a guard of honor is, it's that all the opposing team lines up and you walk through them, and they're all standing there and it's a honor. It's an honor to have a team do that for you. It's them honoring you. And so they're told that they're supposed to do a guard of honor. So clearly Verón went to his players and he goes, hey, you know what you're going to do? You're going to go stand up there and turn your backs. You're not going to stand facing forward. You're going to turn your backs. And they did a guard of honor turning their backs. And this clearly pissed off Tapia because this is where it starts getting crazy. This is the head of the Argentine Futbol Association. Okay? This is supposed to be like a high-level businessman, professional, serious guy. And they start asking, where did he rule? Point is, immediately after Verón's team did that, they took the rules that they had already written for whatever. They took them and they changed them and they included all of these rules. So they included rules that were you have to face forward, blah, blah, blah. So now they have something to use against Verón and Estudiantes. But that wasn't a rule before. So Verón had them turn their backs knowing very well that, okay, you said I got to go stand there. I'm doing a guard of honor. They don't have to be facing inward towards the team. They're just looking the other way. And now it's become a debate. Okay? It's a debate. Some people are like, hey, it's too much that the player... Like there's a player named Ruggieri. He's a defender that won the World Cup in '86. Played at Real Madrid, big important guy. They asked him, he was like, I wouldn't have turned my back. He's like, Di Maria won us a World Cup. I would face him. And I can empathize with that sentiment, but it's because you're not thinking about playing and winning. These guys want to win. And they didn't know that there was a tournament, there was another trophy to be won. So they did their guard of honor and turned their backs. And here's when it starts getting very dumb. These guys took the rules that had been up on their website for however long, and they took them down, they rewrote it, and they uploaded it again with a date of February 2025, I guess, February. And they had done it yesterday. Hey, man, just take down the rules, change the rules, put it back up. They won't know. Oh, he's not going to check the metadata that shows that the PDF was made yesterday. No, he won't check that. Don't worry about that. Just put them up. Put up the rules. Estudiantes, you cannot do bad things. Estudiantes, don't do bad things. They went and they changed the PDF and adjusted, put in all that they had created these rules that you couldn't turn away and da-da-da-da. You had to look towards the team. Basically a description of exactly what Estudiantes didn't do 3 days ago. But they put those goddamn rules up the day after it happened. And they don't care, man. They've got no shame. It's a no shame game over there. Hold on. It's like, hey, man. You know our team's losing because we gotta make Angel Di Maria win something in this World Cup. Well, what are we gonna do, sir? They gotta go to playoffs. Well, here's what we'll do. They did pretty good, right? So let's just change the rules and give them a trophy for how good they did. Hey, boss, that sounds like a good idea. Now they got one trophy. Now they won something. We gave something to Di Maria. Now they won a trophy. Now we gave them tries. We won something, Di Maria. We get one. I don't know what I said there. Okay. So they're they're not like coherent enough with computers to know that you can't just like rewrite a PDF, hit save, and then be like, hey, and re-upload it to your website and be like, hey, we wrote this in March. And just any person who has any computer knowledge just right clicks and is like looks at the metadata and it's like, saved, or created November 24 or 25, whatever it was. So they are faking dates, and they even apparently, like, the date of the rule that they faked, they have, like, a filing system for when they have their meetings or whatever. They invented a meeting that never happened. Basically, they just do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I mean? It's sharks out there, man. Chiquitapia is coming out to get you. Chiquitapia. And so I'm saying, like, you're going to watch this next World Cup this summer. And in the games where Argentina plays, there you're going to see Chiquitapia sitting with Infantino and maybe Trump or whatever, like these famous, powerful people. And they're going to be, and you're going to see that guy's face. And you're going to know that guy is as shady as they come. Just a completely out in the open, just says whatever, changes the rules. Like, and so, you're ruining the beautiful game. It's the beautiful game. And you're ruining that game. Oh, pase.